Hello and welcome to episode 111 of Critical Strike. I'm Kyle Dumont, and with me is Mr. Bill.
Oh, I love the scream.
That goat.
That's that sweet goat video for any... Well, nah, Josh won't cut that out. That's that sweet goat video that was going around on the YouTubes.
Oh, goats screaming like humans.
Remind me after the show to explain to you the picture Josh just sent to me, because we can't really discuss that on the show.
What?
Move on, just trust me. Fucking Josh. Josh is again absent. Probably for a few more, I would imagine. That'd be a safe bet, right? Figure April he'll be back.
Think so? I don't really know what's going on. He's being very mysterious.
Yeah, I bet he has a cloak. You think he's wearing a cloak?
He's probably wearing a cloak, and he's got his cat. He's stroking the cat while he's got his cloak on.
Yeah.
Yes, Ruin, they'll all fall.
Even though he doesn't like fantasy, I think Josh should try and bring back the cloak. It all started in New Hampshire. So when you see those future films and everyone's wearing cloaks, Josh. I should have a cloak. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't use it very often, but there would be those days where you're like, the weather seems suited for a cloak.
They're not too difficult to make.
I'm not going to make a fucking cloak, Carl. Like, I can't imagine myself trying to sew anything outside of a small hole in a pillow or something.
No, dude, you don't even have to sew. There's this stuff called stitch witchery, which is basically
what did you just call it? Jim Diggory?
Stitch witchery.
Oh god, it's just hot glue, isn't it?
Well, yes and no.
Okay, sorry for interrupting.
It's cloth adhesive that you iron things together.
I think I've used something similar to seal holes in some of my pantalones.
You didn't get them tailored?
No, like blue jeans, like the ones I use for like working in the basement here or whatnot. If like the pocket starts to tear out, I'll just iron in a big black cloth patch on the inside to keep it all together.
Oh, yeah.
Same kind of deal, I imagine, but just two-sided.
Yes.
I'm going to go ahead and guess it ironed together cloak is not going to be what I'm wanting. I want something that looks like it was tailored with elven fingers. And there would need to be a brooch. Just saying.
Well, of course.
Yeah. Need to be a brooch.
And the fancier, the better.
Fake jewels and all. Oh, man.
Oh, man, and you do it extra fancy, too. You'd get a cloak with all those little hidden pockets in it.
Oh, it'd have to be. Well, yeah. That's the whole thing. It's like a mixture of all the crazy nerd books that we enjoy. So you'd have kind of I blend into the environment Lord of the Rings mix, split with every, rogue you've ever read about, and then all of the pockets from Kavoth. Yep.
All mans.
Did you see... Everyone can fuck off, I don't care. Did you see the other day that he snapped an image of the third book's manuscript on Google+?
No, I don't follow any authors. It's a rule.
I don't do Google+. I don't follow any of them, but it came up in the subreddit. So the manuscript is done. It's off to the whatever editor publishing group. So it could be 9 months, could be 6 years, but there is a finished manuscript, which makes me happy. Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm very excited. But there's too much going on, and he's not going to finish everything up.
I know.
That is what's going to happen.
Or it's going to be convenient finishes, which I kind of hate a little bit more than not dealing with things. Like when they just slip in something convenient, and now that storyline is now finished.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eric and I in the office were talking about it. We started listing all of the things that have to be resolved, mixed with his later years of being badass, that there's no way it can work short of like a 1,300 page book. And even then, probably not. Sorry, everyone. Except Josh. Anything fun happening to you this week, Carl? Last couple weeks? Anything cool?
Just a lot of work-related shit, and a lot of things happened that I can't really explain.
Yeah.
And they were bad, and then they weren't bad, and then they were bad again, and now I don't know what's happening because no one knows what's happening, and we won't know until it's done. So it's all very vague.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about something that Josh will hate. So my coffee maker broke, and through all of the twittering, you ended up with an AeroPress.
Yeah, I don't even...
Completely not involved in any way. Your tweet was, "What the fuck is this?" Mick responded very humorously with something about your face.
Yeah.
And now you have one.
So Paul, the podcast token German, disappeared for 3 weeks when he went to do some work for the government. And then he came back and he gave me some coffee from Hawaii. And I'm like, awesome!
Some proper Kona?
Proper Kona.
Cool, that stuff is expensive.
I don't have a coffee pot. So I was just going to pick up like a cheap Mr. Coffee. And then it just so happens that you guys were talking about the AeroPress. I'm like, what the fuck is this bullshit?
This looks too fancy for coffee.
This looks too weird.
Well, it's not fancy. It looks almost scientific, right? Like something that would be next to beakers and such.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I was either going to pick up a Mr. Coffee or French press. I'm like, this is close enough to a French press. And I could use it for other things too.
It's portable, reasonably priced.
Yeah. I got it for like $20, so it's not that much different from Mr. Coffee.
Yeah. Really, it's not. And it makes better coffee?
Yes. That was the first. I don't know whether to attribute it to the coffee itself or the process in which it was brewed, but that was the first black cup of coffee that was not bitter. And I was like, holy crap, this is really good.
Interesting. Very interesting. I'll probably end up buying one here in a week when I get paid.
It also brews in 30 seconds, which is pretty awesome.
That's the thing that's tough for me to get over, how exactly that works. You know?
I guess it's like pressure cooking.
Oh, I can see that. That makes sense.
Because it uses that plunger to just kind of sieve everything out.
Because I watched a couple videos, especially the one where they were comparing against the French press, and I never let the French press sit for a mere 3 minutes. It sits there for a good 25 minutes, half an hour.
You forget about it, you walk away, oh shit, I had coffee.
Well, the water's just under boiling. Who the hell wants coffee at that temperature? You need to just let it chill. I mean, I sometimes mix it up and let everything fall in its place, but most of the videos I were watching, people go through that in like 3 minutes, and it seems like that'd be really shitty coffee. I don't know.
Oh, maybe they're using some sort of crazy coffee techniques that you don't know about.
I don't know. My coffee needs substance, like grit, grime, solidity in each sip.
My coffee had none of that, so I don't think you're going to like it.
Well, the AeroPress is more about flavor. I can substitute that for flavor, I suppose.
You're looking for character, whether it be grit or taste.
Yeah, I'm not going to use it on Sundays. Like tomorrow, I'm going to get up and I'm going to make myself a big man breakfast and then a big thing French press for me, and I sit around eating coffee. I wouldn't replace that, but it would be nice, like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I want another cup of coffee, but the shitty Mr. Coffee that I have in my office. Because right now what I do is I make enough so that I have about a cup and a half left, and then I turn the coffee maker on and I pour that same coffee through the filter again with the same coffee, and I drink that at like 3. Probably should get an AeroPress.
You essentially reheat your coffee?
Yes, but I also run it through the rest of the grounds again.
Oh,
it's not good, Kyle. It's not good.
Why would you do that?
Well,
to save on the penny filter?
No, I don't.
You just don't fucking care.
No, I have like a stainless steel filter in there that I've used for now 6 years. I don't use the paper ones. It just, I don't know. I'm a jackass, Kyle. I don't know. I could, really what it boils down to, I could get one of the pots that in the morning at like 6:30, I pour it all into the pot that keeps it warm all day. But that's just one more thing sitting around and then something else you got to rinse out. I don't want any of that. I'll just drink shitty coffee at 3 because I shouldn't be drinking it anyway, but whatever. I don't know, Kyle, because having an AeroPress defeats exactly what I just said because it's way more of a mess.
You know what? That garbage looks pretty good. Let me put some of that in my mouth.
Well, it doesn't. If you were to just reheat coffee late in the day, yes, it would have a terrible, bad, fake, burnt taste.
Except you're not even doing that. You're just using old grounds that have already had all the stuff extracted from it. So you're drinking like mud water.
I know, but I'm not pouring water through those grounds. I'm pouring coffee. See?
Yeah, so it's
like, getting stronger to cancel out the shitty taste.
I don't even think that's happening. It's like, let me put this pure coffee through the shitty dead corpses of its fallen brethren. That'll make it taste better.
Well, you have to understand, though, I grind my coffee into basically baby powder. I mean, the coffee I drink, you could probably paint with it. It's dark. And so, I don't know. It's not as terrible as you'd think it would be. I promise. Sort of. I don't want to say I promise. I take that back. It's just not as bad as you think it is.
Yeah. Needless to say, any coffee you hand me will probably be dumped out.
As long as it's pre-lunch. If it's pre-lunch, it's serviceable. Promise. Sort of. But I am super pissed, though, because we've had this coffee maker for almost 5 years, and it uses our own grounds. It has a stainless steel kind of tray and cup, and everything goes through there, and like a pressure cylinder comes down, and it basically does what the AeroPress does, just mechanically. And because the holes in it are super small, like it was the greatest coffee maker. So I go out looking for new ones, and the K-Cup has destroyed the single cup market. Like, I refuse to use that wasteful stuff. Like, you are a bad person if you use those. You should feel bad.
And they're ridiculously expensive. It's like, oh, here's 12 cups of coffee for $10.
Well, the
as
way
opposed to the bag.
Well,
that will make 50 cups.
I made the same comment, but the way they pawn it off is that the people they're selling this to are the people that would go to a coffee house every day. So for them, it's like, I'm saving like 70%. That's the justification, is that it's for people that would normally be going to a coffee house. But for people like me who give a shit and like decent coffee, we no longer have options. And I guess you can get a little filter that goes into them, but everything I read online, they suck. It doesn't work worth a damn. You have to cut a K-Cup apart and put that in the holder. You put the K-Cup remnant, then you put the filter, and you have all of this stuff, and it still doesn't make a very good cup of coffee. So it's just, I don't fully know what we're going to do just yet. I'm kind of pissy about it, Kyle.
Understandably so.
Yeah. I mean, I could get a refurbished one, but that just seems like delaying the inevitable. So we'll see. Bah.
So what happened to it? It just died? You're not going to man up and fix it?
No.
With your manly ass beard?
If there were other things, no, that's gone. Don't bring her up. I miss it. No, the electronics broke. Like, it doesn't turn on. That's past my level of understanding, I think. If it was something mechanical, I'd probably take it to the office. We'd take it apart, and all of the engineers and people would sit there and tinker with it until it worked. But it's being electronic, that's not a good sign. So she's done. She served us well. It was
5
used
years.
every day for 5 years, and on, the weekends numerous times a day. So whatever. I feel like I should bury her next to the garden or something. Somebody.
Why do these beans have a terrible metallic taste?
60 years, someone's going to be cutting a new garden. They're going to come across some dead coffee maker.
It breaks whatever machine they're using to till it. Motherfucker, who would put a coffee fucking maker
in the ground.
Fucking ground. Those backwards hicks.
And it's covered in stainless steel and metal. It's a contraption. So yeah, it would mess anything up that hit it. But oh well. I'll keep you all updated because I know you care.
Yeah, AeroPress though. Pretty awesome.
I'll probably end up with one for $20. I mean, at that price, who cares, right?
Yeah, I mean, I picked it up on Amazon, so I was like, oh, cool.
The only downside to it, and she doesn't listen to this, so I don't care. I just see the pressing of this thing. I just see the pressure, of pressing the cylinder down. It doesn't have like an apparatus to sit above the cup necessarily. And I just see myself coming home at some point, like, you broke a bunch of shit because you were pushing on it and it shot the cup off, and that's why there's coffee everywhere. Yeah, I don't know what happened. That's just why I have to have another option. So
I don't know. When I was making it, I had thought about that because I'm incredibly clumsy. So I was going from the different angles trying to get that result. And the way it's designed, it kind of prevents that from happening.
It seems like it should be designed like a large syringe with like a nozzle at the end that you just kind of press it into a cup from the side or however you want to hold it. Wouldn't that make more sense?
Yeah, but then you wouldn't be able to brew it upside down and actually get a full cup of coffee as opposed to just a shot of espresso.
Yeah, that is the thing. I will have to do it upside down. That
upside down is key.
Yeah, that little thing's not going to cut it, especially in the numerous ones we would need. But yeah, I don't know. It'll probably happen. I'll order it next weekend. It'll be a laugh. I can't wait to see what my folks have to say about it. They know how I'm uppity about coffee. I'm not just going to take their commentary one step too far.
The weirdest thing, though, is looking at the coffee ground shit brick that it shoots out at the end.
Oh, is it? Yeah, that's how the machine we had, yeah.
Hockey puck of coffee grounds, and it's firm.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a solid thing that you can poke and probably flick around.
Mm-hmm.
That was weird.
That's why my machine was awesome. It was essentially this, like a sealed cylinder went down in the stainless steel cup and then pressure shot through it. It was an amazing machine. I hate all you wasteful cunts that now K-Cup is now our only option. Bastards.
But it's so convenient.
Yes. Anyway, we should probably talk about something other than coffee. Right now, Josh is sitting there on mute, just cutting himself.
Rolling.
Scratch deeper, Bruin. Yeah, of course, Josh. View cups versus K-Cups, we understand. His you can at least recycle, so he's not as bad. And his makes latte, and it has foam, because Josh is a dainty boy.
He can't man up and do it himself. He needs a machine to do it.
God, look at this foam. It's so manly. Oh,
Bruin, man. Drink the foam with me.
Oh, I hope he cuts this bit out. So, Kyle, do you want to go first since you actually have things to talk about?
Sorry. Oh, I just saw what Josh wrote. Oh God. That is some
complete.
Foul stuff.
Foam complete.
Foul stuff, Josh.
Oh, God. So, do you want to talk about crown molding?
Let's talk about video games just so Josh doesn't kill himself.
Yeah. You want to go first or you want me to?
I'll go first since I've got video games to talk about.
Yeah, that's true.
So I've relinquished control of No Kuni to Nance, and she's been playing it a shit ton.
Not just falling asleep, she's properly playing it?
Yeah, she's properly playing it. She's like 40 hours into it now.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Holy shit.
When normal people are asleep, she's awake, and that's what she does.
I see. So I trust your two opinion more so than other people that like it for its art, like it for its RPG elements. What does she have to say?
She enjoys the way it looks. She enjoys how it plays, except the AI people are completely fucking useless.
Yeah.
Like,
that's sort of to be expected, though.
No, like, they are really useless. There's no point in them being in there.
Really?
All of their effort went into the style and the sound, and not so much into how the AI works. So you have 2+ retards on your team who don't do anything, who waste all of your resources and die. That is what they do.
They can use your items?
Well, they have mana, and it doesn't replenish. So in order to get them to keep using their abilities, you have to use items on them to replenish their mana, and then they just burn it.
Ugh. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you thinking of it? Have you played it all, or you said you relinquished control, so you've basically quit?
I really haven't been playing it. But there's a lot of weird things in it. So you pretty much walk around with this phylactery around your neck, stealing bits of people's souls and giving them to other people, which is really weird.
Really?
Yes.
Aren't you like a nice little boy? Why would you be doing shit like that?
You're a nice little boy. Well, there's the evil wizard makes people really sad. and you have to go around and you have to make them not feel sad. So you have to go and find someone who's really happy or really enthusiastic, and you cut out the excess happiness or confidence that they have, and you give it to the people who don't have it.
Sounds brutal as shit. Did you ever watch Heroes on NPC?
What?
Heroes. You remember that show with the superheroes?
Yeah. You said NPC, and
I
got
did.
Really
I'm trying not to be distracted by Josh, and I'm a little drunk. But there was the evil character. The evil character would go around and cut the spirit and powers out of people. That's kind of the way it's sounding.
Well, that's not his power. Was the ability to understand things. So in order to do that, he had to see their brain. But that's besides the point. But that's kind of
really,
what you're doing.
Kyle,
But
you just got technical on that.
I
Jesus
did,
Christ.
on a terrible TV show. But
oh my god,
it was. That's kind of what you're doing in the spiritual sense. Is you're this little 8-year-old kid butchering people's hearts. Their like spiritual heart, and then giving it out to people.
So you're like an 8-year-old white Obama.
Yeah. And you carry around their bits of heart in your little necklace. That's
Satchel.
pretty much just a phylactery.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of creepy, Kyle.
It is kind of creepy. And the whole point of of the little kid being in the other world is his mom dies. And a few days afterwards, he's really sad and he's sitting alone when his toy comes alive. And he's like, hey, you need to come to this magical world and we can find your mom because there's 2 of everybody. There's one in your world and one in our world. So if we rescue the one in our world, your mom will come back to life.
Seems like if I was a pedophile, that's the story I would tell a young kid. Just saying.
I don't think you could look like this particular pedophile. Mr. Drippy.
Seems really dark, Mr. Drippy. That might be my pedophile name.
But it's all I can think of is the game isn't actually happening. It's this kid just went fucking insane and he made up this world in his head, and that's what he's retreated to, is this magical land.
He's just in his closet cutting up pets. Now you have the heart. Oh man. Yeah, Josh has it on his account, and I have it downloaded. I don't remember if it was installed or not. I've got too many on my queue to start this game. But as bad as it sounds, I'm slightly more interested in it now.
No, I'm exacerbating things. The AI sucks, yes, but the game is it's stunningly beautiful. And the music is done by the Tokyo Philharmonic Orchestra, so it sounds beautiful.
I do
It's
like that.
it's just a nice thing to walk around, and it's cute, and there's a shit ton of puns, which I love.
I do like puns.
There are a stupid amount of puns, but they're good puns.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stupid things to the game, but it's very, very endearing.
Well, maybe in the spring I'll get to it. And I'll have a completely different outlook on the game. This is terrible, Kyle.
Why did you recommend it?
Mr. Drips or whatever, Mr. Drippy, whatever the name is.
Drippy.
He has a big nose, doesn't he? It's like that's the drippy.
Huge nose.
Is it a phallus?
He has a huge nose, and he has like a piercing that's a lantern.
Jesus Christ. It's going to turn into a snuff film.
And he has a terrible fucking Welsh accent.
That's okay with me, because it makes no sense, so that's okay with me. I would prefer it to be Scottish, because it would make less sense, but I'm okay. I'm okay with that.
I'm proud. It took me a little bit to, I'm like, okay, it's not Irish, it's not Scottish, it's not English. I'm like, what the fuck is that other country? Wales. Welsh! It's Welsh!
Oh, Wales. You'll always be a joke in the world's eyes. Should be some Russians in a game like this, it seems. Like a cold climate level area.
It does like the stereotypical 4 elements, so there is an ice place, but I don't think there's any Russian people in it.
No, there isn't, because you would have been bitching about them already.
No, Nancy could have played it while I was asleep, so.
That's true. Are you ever going to play this, or are you just going to live it through her? That's really probably the question, isn't it?
That's the thing. I've already seen about 10 hours of gameplay, so I'm like, oh, all the story I don't really fucking care about, and I know there's going to be a lot of grinding, so I'll just be playing it for the grinding at this point. I'll probably still play it. I mean, it's on my PlayStation, so why the fuck not?
Yeah. At some point I'll play it, but the fact of the matter is everyone's going to quit talking about it rather quickly, which means I don't think it's as long as people said it was. Otherwise, I think you'd still be hearing tweets and podcasts talk about it, so.
Oh, it's been out for what, like a month?
Something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's about standard shelf life for an RPG.
I suppose so. Now I kind of wish there was a Russian RPG. Kind of shame I brought that up. Shouldn't there be like a Russian RPG where you're like overcoming famine?
There are Russian RPGs. They're typically used to blow up buildings in Afghanistan or in Iraq.
Yeah, something that's less that. What's the series of What's the series of Russian books? Is it like Day Watch and Night Watch? Seems like those could make cool games.
I've never heard of those books.
Really?
Yep.
There's been a couple movies. The first, I watched I think would be the second movie. I think it was called Night Watch. And a lot of it didn't make a whole lot of sense. And there's vampires-ish, but really crazy action scenes. And then I find out later there's a first movie modeled after the book and everything falls into place. But you would probably really like those. Yeah, you should just give me your address. I'll send you the DVD of the second one, because I watched it all in Russian with subtitles, so you'd probably get off on it. It's because it's fairly neat, but everyone's told me that the books are much, much better. So,
I will add them to my list of things to read.
Yeah, you might actually like it. There's some value to the world they created there. There could be some good games. Yeah, old boy.
Yeah.
And you apparently have went back to Fallout New Vegas, which I find exceptionally odd. Because it seems like that should spell out The Witcher, but it says Fallout New Vegas. So,
yeah, it's
the fuck, Kyle.
I was in the mood to shoot things, but I didn't want to do like a twitchy shooter. And I'm like, well, the only things that I have that I can shoot things are Half-Life 2 and Fallout New Vegas. And I really don't want to play Half-Life, so I started playing New Vegas, and then I started playing it a lot. And that is probably one of the buggiest games I've ever played.
Yeah, that's what killed. I stopped playing it because of them. One of my game saves got fried, and it just, I wanted no part of it anymore.
If I have to load the game I've been playing by starting a new game, quitting, and from the new game load my old game, you got some problems, and the game has been out for a while.
Yeah.
And that mods still hasn't been fixed.
There's no fixes, there's no mods that make it worth the time. And the world they created and the story isn't in any way as good as the proper Fallout, and I lost interest. I did. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still a thing where I'm like, oh, I've got this gun, now I'm going to sneak up and shoot them in the head and their head pops off. That's exactly what I needed.
Yeah, I do enjoy that aspect of the Fallout games. The combat was fun. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I loved it. I loved creeping up on someone and just the slow-mo sniper shot to the head and all of the animations, and yeah, it was great.
So I installed all like the texture packs to update the world and make it look pretty, and just like a few tweaks, but after I started having that problem, I just haven't been able to go back to it. Because that is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, same thing happened to me, and it seemed more like the first game, you kind of cared what was going on and you wanted to explore the world, and this one, it just seems like you were just playing a game. You didn't really care what was going along. You just wanted to shoot dudes. Does that make sense?
Yep.
That's kind of what I would say about that game. Like what are they, Centurions? What were they called?
Caesar's Legion?
Yeah, I didn't play enough to fully wrap my head around what the hell they were talking about with all of that. And Vegas was right there from where you started practically. And Vegas was super really small. Close. I mean, basically they just had the strip. I mean, it would have been better if the Vegas game would have just been a big city, not a big open map, but you just played in an urban area. I think I would have been more okay with it.
Huh.
I didn't like that Las Vegas was somehow the size
8
of
buildings.
Yeah, it was just, there was nothing to it. It didn't make any fucking sense. What's Spec Ops that we just played? If it would have been more of that scale, except Fallout, could have been okay.
Huh.
Yeah. Because I get uppity about things like that. There wouldn't be 2 villages within 500 yards of each other. That doesn't make any sense. You can't do that anymore. I don't know.
I mean, Fallout 3 was massive.
Yeah, and this map does not feel like that at all. It looks like it is because it's a big rectangle on your screen, but when you cut out all the sections you can't actually go to, it's not very big. And everything's super close, and yeah. No, I didn't care for it, Kyle.
Yeah, fair enough.
Although I will say, there's a small village that has the large
dinosaur.
Yeah, the dinosaurs. Yeah. That little area was cool. I'll give him that one. I liked that part. And I never made it to Hoover Dam, so I don't really know what all that's about, but still.
I murdered everybody in that town.
Really?
Well,
Jesus.
It started out, there was the guy who gave me the hint to the main quest. I'm like, I really don't feel like going to this other place to do all of the quests in there just to get the thing to get over to this guy. So I murdered him to get the information. Unfortunately, someone saw me, and then I had to go kill him. And then someone else saw me, and then I murdered them, and then the whole town was after me, so I just started killing people. And now there's nobody in the town.
Well, that does happen occasionally, Kyle. I won't fault you for it.
And if I feel like bringing them back, I'll just use the console to bring them back to life.
How does that work? Does it seem to be what you'd want?
No, it's
not at all.
Type in a fucking command and be like, "Yep, now you're alive."
Yeah, screw that. Oh well. So here's the real questionable one on your list.
Yes.
System Shock 2.
Good Old Games released it. And I recall fondly playing that game when I was younger at my uncle's house. So I picked it up because it was cheap. Mm-hmm. And I started playing it to bring back the fond memories. The things I don't remember were the psychic monkeys that killed you.
Yeah, I've never played this game, and psychic monkeys do not sound great. They sound like a bitch.
So, the people who made BioShock made System Shock. So, this is a
precursor.
cyberpunk version of BioShock.
Oh, well, that sounds okay.
Yeah.
Actually sounds pretty decent.
It is.
When was this released, though?
Early 90s.
Oof. Yeah.
That's why I downloaded all the texture updates, because there's a rabid fan base around this game.
Of course there is.
But it's fun. It's entertaining. I think you should play it.
Is it a shooter?
It's a shooter. It's
like Doom.
BioShock.
No, it's like Doom.
No, it's like BioShock.
Yeah, but it looks like Doom, right?
Yeah. No, it's a bit better than Doom.
It's not going to happen, Kyle.
No, not even with the texture updates.
I don't give a shit. When there's 19 polygons on a character, no, it doesn't matter if they're all fancy looking.
Huh? Then you are a shallow person, Bill.
I am definitely a shallow person. If I was gonna play anything even remotely close to that, it would be Hard Reset that I've never actually started. It's downloaded and I've been looking at it for like a year and a half, 2 years now. I'll just play that. Yep.
Yeah, fair enough. That's about it.
That's it, huh?
That's it.
All right. Me, I don't really have
Let's talk about crown molding.
Let's talk about crown molding and how much I don't like it. No, I started a bit of Journey finally.
Really?
Yeah, just I don't know why. Just many reasons drove me to that, and I made it a little bit into the game. It's really pretty. I won't knock it for that. It is very artistic, is the best way to put it. It's fun to play, sort of. I was lucky enough to have someone hop into my game that wasn't a douchebag, and so they kind of allowed me to explore and figure out what I'm supposed to be doing and enjoy my time with it. And I made it what someone said is most of the game through. I've probably got half an hour left at best, and I just haven't went back to it. I think saying you could have it on your game of the year list, I wouldn't take issue with that. But to say it's game of the year, no, that's bullshit. No, that's nonsense. Like all of what I've seen for someone to say that they've cried at the end, you're just a cunt. Like
really? Who's cried at the end?
People. It's emotionally moving. I don't buy any of that. I'm doing things because I'm playing a game. Like I'm unlocking the things to move further in the level, we'll say. But there's no emotional value to any of it, at least in my opinion. I don't get any of that at all in any way, shape, or form at all. But it's kind of fun to play with a stranger. I mean, they just pop into your game and you guys kind of screw around with no real communication. You kind of have a little, what's the little fairy in Zelda 64
Navi.
games? Navi. They kind of have notifications at that same level where it's a kind of a bing that's the equivalent of, hey, to let you know to come over there. Yeah, this is where I'm at. And I enjoy all of that. I think it's creative and neat. But I could never put this above everything else that I played last year. I think that's rubbish, plain and simple. You're just being a douchebag at that point. I don't care how artful it is. It's improper for you to say this is better than some of the other things that were out there last year. But it's neat. I'm glad I didn't pay for it. I'm not the biggest downloadable small indie type game fan, but I don't know. I'll finish it because I know that I'm close, but I don't really want to. I don't have any drive to go and see how it ends because I could turn it on and they could say the game's over and it would have the same level of finality to me, I guess. I don't know.
Way to not be affected by something beautiful, Bill.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
You're heartless.
It's very simplistic and pretty, and I understand all of the value to its aesthetics and how it looks, but come on, man. Come on. Come on. It's not that great. It's just,
who knows? It might move you to tears. Maybe you should finish it.
No, what was Mark of the Ninja? Remarkably a better time in every way, shape, and form.
I think you have rose-colored lenses when it comes to that game because you could give people a peasant's death.
I could give people a peasant's death, and I did find that remarkably pleasing. But at least there was an idea of a finish, even though I didn't play with sound, so I don't really know what I was doing. I knew that I was working towards someone that had betrayed someone that I apparently gave a shit about. This, you're just going through the motions, and I don't really know why. You're trying to get to Mount Doom, is we'll equate it, but I have no reason why or why I care. I don't know, man. It's neat, but let's not get too excited about it. Bah.
Okay.
Graphically, you could put it in a top tier list. It's because it is pretty. It's very well done. I wish that I could take screenshots on that PS3, which I can do on the PS4. I would post those because it's very pretty, but I just don't care.
Oh, man. You know what platform's been able to do that for a while?
The PC.
The PC.
Yeah. I do like taking screenshots. My Steam account will attest to that. I take lots
I think you'll like the Lego Lord of the Rings one that I posted.
I bet I will. I've got a few more I need to upload for that game, in fact. We'll go into that. I finished the first movie scale in that game. It's fun, Kyle. It's super simple, and you just kind of go with it. There's not a whole lot of point, but it's just fun.
I don't know what to expect, because this is the first Lego game I've ever played.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I haven't played any of the other ones. So I was just like, I go around and kill things and they give me bricks.
Yep. You just collect bricks and break stuff for bricks, and that's about it.
What do the bricks do?
Nothing. You just collect them because you want points, because points make people feel good, Kyle. You like to collect points. And at the end of each section, where they give you a review, and it's counting up all your bricks and you don't make 100% and it makes a sad sound, you go, oh, that's pretty much the point. I think with this one, you can collect armor and upgrade things as if it fucking mattered, I guess. But the reason I'm actually playing, it's Lord of the Rings. I'm getting to kind of go through the movie, and they have the actual voice actors, and everything looks really pretty, and it's neat. I don't know.
Yeah, if you wanted to play a good Lord of the Rings game, why don't you just play the ones they released for the PS2 when the movies came out?
I have those, and I really wish they would remake those in an HD format, because I have the Two Towers one. I think that's the one it is.
Yeah, the Two Towers are the one that everyone loves.
Yeah. I mean, it could use some updating and better mechanics, but I remember enjoying the shit out of those games. And this is the Lego equivalent, sort of. They take a lot of liberties with things.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a lot of joking things, like one of the 9 kings, like the 9 human kings, like one of them drops his power ring and he's really sheepish about it. I'm like, that's weird. It's
a lot of that. Like Boromir's death scene, he gets shot with a banana and a chicken, I think, maybe a plunger. I don't remember. It's a lot of that kind of stuff. Everything stays light and entertaining. They don't take it too seriously. I can get behind it because it looks so pretty and it uses the proper sounds and the voices and music. It's okay. But when you get through things, when you're at the end of Moria, there's a lot of really beautiful shots, and it's things like that keep you going. I wish it would have been based on the extended versions because I'm that guy. That's just me.
How do you know that?
How do I? Well, because when they left Moria, there was no scenes with the elves in the tree forts, as I like to call them. So I know that it's not following the extended edition.
Maybe they just cut it out.
9, because your whole section with the elves there lasts about 45 seconds. So no, it doesn't follow that timeline. But there's cooler things when when you play as Faramir. You get to take down some elephants. That's cool.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah, there's little things like that. It's neat. I don't know. Like Gollum steals Sam's teddy bear as well as the ring. Yeah, it's just that's why he's mad at Gollum, because he took his teddy bear that he sleeps with.
What?
You just deal with it, Kyle. It's charming, I guess.
I had problems with Sam coming out of the chimney and saying he wasn't dropping no eaves.
Well, he also took the ring, so at least he didn't take the ring, but he was trying to take the ring, but Sam doesn't like him because of the teddy bear. But yeah. But there's little touches, like if you notice when the ring is in the scene, if you take a screenshot and zoom in, like you see the Eye of Sauron, Mount Doom, it's all in the reflection as it should be.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, they have little touches of detail like that speak to the nerds in us. But fucking hell, wouldn't Tom Bombadil be great for a Lego game? I'm just saying.
No one knows who Tom Bombadil is.
No one
gives a shit.
Bad people don't know who he is. That's who doesn't know. But I don't know. I'll stick with it. It's entertaining. It's fun. It's just something that I can chat on Skype, also watch a movie, and play that at the same time. So I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
And it was $6. I had to gift it to you because even Josh picked it up, and so at some point we'll all be on Skype bullshitting.
Is there co-op?
I think just local. I think Josh looked that up last week, where there's one of them that had online co-op. It'd be I'll tell you this: the online co-op with this would be a hell of a lot more fun than the War in the North. There's no doubt in my mind about that. No doubt at all. Yeah. I don't know. Other than that, way back when I had played Need for Speed Most Wanted, I don't really want to say much about it. I'd send it back. The only thing I'm going to say is just don't play it. Honestly, it's not very good. Well, everyone lied. It's not Burnout 2. It's not Burnout at all. It's just a mess of trying to bridge the gap between two different style of games, and it didn't work. And it's not fun, and it's full of EA bullshit, and just don't even bother playing it. Just pretend it doesn't exist. Yeah. Other than that, I finished, and I'm going to call it the Game of Thrones series, because no one will know what I mean when I say a Song of Fire and Ice. Yeah. I finished the third one. I'm pretty jacked for the third season now. I want to see how they show things and how they do things. I thought that third book was great, Kyle. I really did.
Yeah. The third book is good. The third book has a lot of stuff in it, and there's a lot of things going on. And then there's the drought in the fourth book, and the drought of 90% of the fifth book.
I know, but what I can say, I'm prepared for going in for a drought in this one. But the way they left the third book, everything that had happened, I understand why the fourth book has to be lower, because I think they're building and preparing sort of for what's coming. Does that sound right?
And they are, except he builds and builds and builds and builds and builds and builds and builds. And then you're 2,000 pages into this book, or the book, because 4 and 5 are supposed to be one book. And you're like, where the fuck is this going? And then there's 50 pages left, and you're just like, holy shit, my mind's blown.
Yeah. I'll sit through it. I'm too deep now to turn around at this point. I've already started the fourth one. But I think people that have only watched the show, which is the vast majority, the third season's going to be badass. Because I don't know, like, they have to end it with a cliffhanger. And the book ended with something that was really cool. You know, the epilogue, which normally I skip epilogues. I'm glad I didn't.
What?
Yeah. Well,
the epilogues set up the next books, and they usually have, like, important information.
I know. In a series, I will, but in just a book, I'll skip over a preface or prologue or epilogue. I just don't care. But in something like this, you have to. But there's 3 pretty solid things that happen, and I don't know how they're going to leave the last moment of the last show of that season, because any one of them would be just as good. So I think people are going to really enjoy the 3rd season. And then I have no fucking clue what they're going to do after that, because the time frame of book releases mixed with a boring 4th, I don't know how that's all going to pan out. And you've never actually watched the show, have you?
No, I haven't.
You should really watch the show. You should just steal it.
I've only seen bits when my friend's wife's like, dude, you have to see this. There's tits everywhere.
There are tits everywhere. So many tits, Kyle. So many tits. Tits and everywhere.
It was that and pretty much all of the gifts of Joffrey getting slapped.
Yeah. I mean, that little bastard. You should, though. I mean, like on Amazon, the 2nd season has a Blu-ray, DVD, digital copy set for $30 right now. The 1st season's $40, but I'm sure someone has the DVDs. It's worth watching, man. It's so well done that it kind of wrecks that style of movie for me, where they have to speed through so many things to make a 2-hour movie a 2-hour movie. And after something like this, I don't want 2-hour movies. I want 10-hour movies now.
You want a miniseries?
I want a miniseries.
That is as good as it is, that gives me a lot of hope for the American Gods thing.
American Gods is going to be fucking awesome. I have no doubt that is going to be something special, because they can do so much more with the universe he created. That's not just the book. Like, they'll use the book to get things going, and they'll keep the ending for the end of the series, I'm sure. But there's so much they could do with it. Yeah. It's going to be good. HBO usually does things pretty right. So, I don't know. Outside of that, I don't really have anything. That's about it.
Yeah.
Really don't have any. We have sort of a question, I guess.
We have a comment.
That's the better way to put it. It has to be in your voice at this point.
Yeah. It's from Keith. So Keith says, at Billy Bill Black, you said you miss your Accord. I miss my Honda Civic. Tell Carl I say hi and that he should buy a Honda. I did own a Honda. It was a Honda Accord. It was 1980. It was a 1986 Honda Accord.
Wow.
It was 4 different colors, and I bought it off of my brother. It was originally gold. It had the flip-up headlights, except my brother got into a lot of car accidents, so each of the headlights was from a different car. So the left one was maroon, and the right one was white. The hood of the car was unprimered stainless steel that had all of my brother's friends' names carved into it. And that thing was a fucking tank.
Wow.
It had like 300 some odd thousand miles on it.
Wow.
Yeah. But I like my Jeep, so I'm sticking with that.
Yeah. You don't like paying for the gas for the Jeep, though, do you?
No, but when it's like, oh, we're in a state of emergency because there's 2 feet of snow on the ground, I'm like, oh, fuck you.
I'm gonna go get some milk. Yeah. Not much to say about that. I would advise everyone to download the Blood Brothers Mix Part 3. It's quite good.
I have yet to pick that up or listen to it.
Yeah.
But I did look at the track listing. It did look a little questionable, though.
It's suspect, but after the second one, it's much better, I promise. And it has the Hulk Hogan theme, so come on. Yeah. Hulk Hogan theme, Kyle. Just saying.
Uh-huh.
I think that's about it.
Okay. We're gonna leave it?
I think so. I think we're done.
We're gonna call it. Okay. You can contact us at Twitter, like Keith did. You can contact Josh at Nasero, myself at KR Duman, Bill at Billy Bill Black, or the podcast at Critical Strike. You can leave us a voicemail at 909-C-Strike or 909-278-7453, or shoot us an email at cstrikepodcast@gmail.com.
And as always, hit Platform Nation for a slew of other podcasts. Video Game Jocks just put one out. They discussed the PS4 bit. They have some commentary after as they were recording Skype listening to it. And they were strangely optimistic on the PlayStation 4, which was the strangest thing about all of it. So, give it a shot.
Huh.
But yeah, I think that's about it. I think that's a show. A short show. But since I didn't play anything and you carried the weight, cheers to you.
Yay, me.
Yeah. I would imagine we've got another month off, but Josh will be back at some point so people can start listening again. I'm sure we'll tweet us back. All right, that's it. Later.
All right. Goodbye.